Idaho's agriculture industry relies on the labor of undocumented workers. A spokesperson for the Idaho dairy industry says 90% of their on-farm workers come from outside the U.S., and it's been this way for years.
Yeah, still many of these essential workers live in constant fear of deportation. Our Stephanie Garibay has more on a bipartisan bill co-sponsored by Idaho Representative Mike Simpson that aims to fix the immigration system and provide more stability for employers and workers.
I know that if this were to pass, it would definitely provide so many more opportunities, and not just that, just feeling like you won't lose a family member or living that fear.
For Beatrice Santiago, that feeling is all too familiar. She grew up working every summer in farms throughout South Central Idaho with her mom, who up until recently was undocumented.
It wasn't until she from my experience, until she became a resident, that I realized that I had this unknown weight in my shoulders every single day. Just because you never know, like if she was, going to the store and she also doesn't speak English fluently, knowing that somebody could take advantage of her, that would always worry me.
It was a long process for Beatrice and her mom, but now the proposed Farm Workforce Modernization Act can hopefully make that process easier by creating a visa program for farm workers throughout the Gem State and the nation.
Yeah, even if people that are anti-immigrant or extremists saying, we ought to just deport them all, they don't realize what would happen to our food chain if that were to happen.
So tell me a little bit about what would happen to our food system if all of these undocumented workers were to all disappear tomorrow.
You will see a significant increase in the costs of food supplies and other things as producers go out of business, frankly, because they don't have the workforce to support their industry.
Congressman Mike Simpson says the problem is Americans aren't applying for these farm working jobs, which is why the agriculture industry relies so heavily on undocumented workers.
I was talking to one group of producers the other day, and they said they had 4,000 openings in their industry, and they put them out for advertisement to try to get Americans to take the jobs. 4 of them were filled by Americans, and 3 of them quit after the first week.
The Department of Labor estimates 46% of farm workers are in the country without status. For the dairy industry and other year-round industries, that number may be higher, since they couldn't participate in the current H-2A visa program for farm workers.
Because our jobs are year-round and not seasonal, we aren't allowed to use that visa program. So this would give us access to that visa program for the first time ever. So that's a huge win for the dairy industry and other year-round ag industries where we don't have a temporary workforce, but we have a year-round workforce.
The CAMP program at the University of Idaho, a program that helps students who come from farm working backgrounds, tells us most of these farm workers also deal with not being able to travel back home in case of a family emergency. For one farm worker, he was not able to be with his wife after she suffered a miscarriage.
Mentioned that story to me and was really sad and was like, I actually have my wife is pregnant right now, and I was like, oh, congratulations. He's like, but they just called me last night saying there's complications, and he's like, I can't be there. It's really hard because I can't just drop my work and go.
If this bill becomes law, it will change that for farm workers and give them the ability to visit their families without fear of being unable to return.
And if you're from Mexico and your grandmother gets ill and you want to go visit her, you got to be able to do that without having to worry whether you can come back and start your job again. And so it creates, I think, a legal workforce that is necessary.
The bill has already passed the House but needs Senate approval before heading to the president's desk.
It's obvious that we have a broken immigration system right now. Policies change and so forth. And if you look at immigration in general, what you see that's happening at the border right now is obviously broken, and we need to fix that.
It would be justice, honestly, because farm workers do so much for us, and a lot of people don't really appreciate what they do for us. And it would just talk about the fairness and the justice that they deserve.
Stephanie Garibay, Idaho News 6.